YouTube, what is good? Welcome back to another video, and shout out to the gang. You know, everybody that's just like watching my videos. I appreciate y'all like so much. Like you really have no idea. I appreciate you a lot, and I gotta let you guys know that, I mean, y'all low-key the reason I keep uploading. But not for real, man. I appreciate y'all a lot. Y'all make me want to keep uploading. We're grinding. We got a lot of content coming out. So shout out to y'all once again. And with that being said, y'all already know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload. Like I said, we got a lot of content coming out, build reviews, builds. We got tier list, and I promise y'all the tier list will be coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. But today we are back with another build. I created this one myself. I think it's pretty fire. It's inspired by Gary Payton, so we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. So today we got position, point guard, height 6'4", weight 201 pounds, and wingspan 6'10 wingspan. So you got some long arms. You're 6'4", the higher side of the guards. Still get all the good animations. 201 pounds. The build is called a defensive menace. Like I said, it was inspired by Gary Payton. OGGP, you know, the glove, bro. Defensive menace, literally. Like the build archetype name is literally Gary Payton. He's boxing up any and everybody, talking junk, and he can score and facilitate. So I think y'all are gonna like what I did with the attributes on this build. Let's go ahead and hit continue and get right into it. So first we got close shot 71. This upgraded with another attribute. But I'm cool with that because he was really good at driving to the basket and playing below the rim. So I wanted to make sure that we at least had some finishing below the rim. And to go with that close shot, we got 85 driving layup. So I like this. You're gonna get physical finisher silver, layup mix master on silver. Gonna be able to get some layups off, most definitely. I feel like low-key lately, layups have gotten slightly better, just a little bit. And like I said, Gary Payton was really known to shoot middies and to drive to the rack, and he could knock the three down too, but wanted to make sure we had the ability to drive to the rack and get a bucket. Driving dunk, we don't have any. I had to sacrifice something. Gary Payton was super athletic, but he was not that much of a dunker, so I didn't put any driving dunk on this build. I'm sorry, but once again, I'm not telling you guys to make this build. I'm telling you guys to use this build that I'm making as a template and tweak it to your liking so you can make your own build. Standing dunk 26. We only got 26 because I had the extra point, and it was the only thing they'll let me upgrade. Post control, I went with the 70. Now, Gary Payton was not a back to the basket guard, but he did post up to run plays and to play make out of the post. So I wanted to give him a little bit of post control to make sure we had that. Now on to the shooting. We got an 86 mid-range shot. Now you might be wondering, why'd you go 86? Because y'all already know I make the builds cap breaker friendly. We're gonna take 3 cap breaker points and we're gonna put this up to 89. Why are we gonna put it up to 89? So we can get set shot specialist on gold. You wanna be able to knock down the middies. You wanna be able to knock down any standstill shot. That gold set shot specialist with the 89 mid-range is gonna be super clutch. You're also gonna be able to shoot fading middies with the 89. So I wanted to make sure we got that. Now 3-pointer, we went with the 75. I went a little bit lower. I was originally pushing for 80, but the build just wasn't turning out how I would have liked it to be. So I had to sacrifice the 3-point shot a little bit. And Gary Payton was a good 3-point shooter, but he was not a great 3-point shooter. And also at that time, the volume of 3-point shots just were not that much. But we got the 75 3-point shot. You're going to be able to knock it down with the 89 mid-range, most definitely. And then guards get really good jump shots, so it's a little bit easier to shoot. So I wanted to make sure we had something. 75 ain't terrible. I think that's the sweet spot if you want to have a lower 3-point rating and still be able to shoot threes. You're just not 3-point hunting with this build. Free throw, you got 77. For the people that play rec, which is kind of what I was gearing this build towards, you got a 77 free throw. You'll be able to knock him down, but I was kind of trying to stick to Gary Payton. He was a good free throw shooter, but he wasn't that great. So I wanted to make sure we at least had a little bit. Now on to the playmaking, one of the stronger parts of Gary Payton's game. We got an 85 pass accuracy. I like the 85 pass accuracy. This is kind of what I was going for. A defensive guard that can play make. And you're going to get bailout. You're going to get versatile visionary. You're going to get break starter on silver, and you get dimer on gold. Your passes are going to be fast. You're going to be able to take this build to any court where you need to pass the ball and be able to pass the ball with no problem. Ball handle, I know this is Unpopular, but I went with the 85. Gary Payton wasn't out here just saucing people up, so I wanted to make sure we could just at least get good ball handling animations so that you can create your own bucket if you need to, but you're more so of a playmaker, play off the ball a little bit, drive to the rack, and play defense. That's more so what this build is made to do. Now, speed with ball went with the 86. Like I said, I still want you to be able to get your own bucket. 85 ball handle ain't that high, but you still get really good animations with that. And then 86 speed with ball, you're gonna have gold lightning launch. I would probably take my max +1 tier 1 and put it on lightning launch so I could get Hall of Fame, just to make the build a little bit better at getting its own bucket. But that's how I was going for with the playmaking on this build. Wanted to make sure we got the animations and then still had the speed with ball and the pass accuracy to be able to throw dimes and get your own bucket at the same time, because the build can still drive to the rack and finish and can still shoot the ball. So with the 85 ball handle and the 86 speed with ball, it's going to make this build very versatile offensively. Now on to the defense, the strongest part of Gary Payton's game. We got interior defense 56. Listen, this upgraded with steal to 56. I wish it could be higher, but I had to go with 56 just because he's not playing down low and getting stops down low that much. And you're a guard, so you're not going to be caught down low that much either. So I didn't put this up too much. Like I said, it upgraded with steal, but I wanted to have it at 55 at the least, so I was happy about that. Now, perimeter defense, you're going to get a 95. I was trying to go higher, and you can go higher, because remember, we only use 3 cap breaker points. If I was going to use my other cap breaker points, I'd probably put them on perimeter defense or steal. Preferably, I would like to put 1 cap breaker on perimeter defense so you get on ball menace on Hall of Fame. Going to make the build a little bit better defensively, but 95 perimeter defense is still really good. You're going to be boxing people. You get gold on ball menace, gold pick dodger, and you get challenger on Hall of Fame. So you're going to be able to box some people up and get some really good contests with this build. And that's Gary Payton, bro. A literal defensive menace. Like, that's what he was. Now, to pair with that, you're going to get 96 steal. This is just insane. Now, like I said, I would put 1 on perimeter defense. You'd still have another one unless you got even more cap breakers than just the 5. And you could put 1 here and you go 97, or you could not put 1 on perimeter at all and get 98 to have Hall of Fame interceptor. But I think 96 steal is overkill. I was trying to make Gary Payton very heavily, so I didn't go 91 steal. I had to make sure he had a really high steal because they didn't call him a glove for no reason. So wanted to make sure he had Hall of Fame glove and Hall of Fame interceptor. That's why we went with the 96 steal. Now for my little special touch on this build, I went with the 68 block. Of course, got to have high flying denier, because what good is having a super defensive build that can box up the perimeter, steal the ball, but then you can't block no shots. And you're 6'4" with a 6'10" wingspan. High flying denier on bronze is the most reliable badge on this game, and I promise you, you will smack anybody's stuff off the backboard. So I wanted to make sure this build had that. Defensive menace build, gotta have some block. Now on to the rebounding. We had a little bit of extra points. Gary Payton was a decent rebounder. He wasn't the best, but for a guard, he was pretty decent. So I wanted to make sure I at least got 60, but I couldn't really put the extra points anywhere else. And for how cheap it was, I was able to get 70 offensive rebound. So that got us box out beast on silver and rebound chaser. I was really happy with that. You get 55 defensive rebound. Like I said, I'm really cool with that. You still get rebound chaser. You're going to be able to grab a board here and there if you need to. Now on to the physicals. We got an 87 speed. Gary Payton was really quick. That's what he was. He was super athletic. He was quick and agile. He was able to fly around the court, guard smaller guards. So we got the 87 speed. I know this isn't super fast, but 87 speed is still really, really good. You're going to be able to get around the court, especially with that perimeter defense being so high. Agility, we got 85. This is about average for guards on this game. But like I said, you got 87 speed and 95 perimeter. You're going to be moving around the court super, super fast, and you're not super heavy either. So that's one thing I was pretty happy about. Strength, we went with 73. Now, he wasn't the strongest guard, but my little touch that I added to this build was to make sure I got immovable enforcer and gold strong handle. Going to help you out defensively, and also going to help you out with being able to get a bucket. Having that strong handle on gold, one of the better badges on gold. Wanted to make sure I had that. Last but not least, we got a 60 vertical. Of course, this only upgraded to 60 because I needed high flying denier. So that's what we got with that. I like this build a lot. Like for a guard build, this build is kind of fire. It's going to be able to be used in every game mode. It's got really good attributes. Like I said, I think it's really, really good. Let's hit continue and see what shades we get. And we're going to get shades of TJ McConnell, Gary Payton, and Drew Holiday. All defensive, like rugged guards, like super physical, go-getters, bro. That's what they are. But you have built a defensive menace. You guys let me know in the comment section how you feel about this build. Is it fire? Is it trash? And if you think it's trash, let me know why you think it's trash. And also let me know if you like this build and you were going to tweak it a little bit. What would you tweak about this build to make it more towards your liking and make it better? Like I said, I think it's pretty fire. I like it how I made it. And yeah, so grading this build on A to F of it being Gary Payton, I'm going to go with an A just because it's super duper close. There's just a couple things I really couldn't get for him, but defensively, ball handle and playmaking wise, and then shooting, finishing was something I was a little iffy about, but everything was all around pretty much Gary Payton. So I like that a lot about this build. Now, being able to use this build in multiple game modes, graded A to F, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to go A+. Reason being, you could definitely take this build to the ones court. You're gonna box up any guard you play. You could take it to the twos. You're going to box up any guard you play on the twos court, and you can get your own bucket for both of those game modes. You can take it to the threes, and you can play the 1 or the 2. You got a bunch of pass accuracy, so you can be the main playmaker. And then you can take it to the 5s, and you can play the 1 or the 2 also. You're going to be able to guard ball, going to be a really, really good guard for your team in 5s. The build is fire, bro. Like, I really like this build. For a playmaking, defending guard build that I was trying to come up with, this is perfect. Like I said, you guys let me know in the comment section how you feel about this build. I think it's fire. And if you made it this far into the video, I appreciate you a lot. You're a GOAT. And hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. You don't want to miss out. That is all I got for you guys today. Once again, stay on the lookout for more build videos, tier list videos. We just got a lot of content coming out, so be on the lookout for that. But like I said, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.